TC2 and TF2's balance structures can be very delicate. Each unlockable weapon has to carefully adhere to a class's abilities, weapons, and playstyle in order to remain fun to use, not broken, but not irrelevant either. Make a weapon that's too bad, and you've just wasted time and effort creating a weapon that no one will ever use. Make a weapon that's too good, and no one will use the other more balanced options. This makes balancing new weapons a tightrope act that could end in disaster from just one little stat. For an example really quick, let's look at something like the Winger. It's a simple trade-off. Although there is a plus damage stat, the Winger will deal less DPS than the pistol with significantly less ammo, but you gain greater vertical mobility. It's a simple weapon concept that isn't broken, and it won't have a 100% use rate as it's playstyle dependent. A more rash example of something that's playstyle dependent is the Landuyt shields. These radically alter the way you play the class, creating an extremely mobile threat with little capabilities in terms of ranged combat. While giving up the Sticky Bomb launcher is a huge commitment, some people view Landuyt's mobility and melee ability worth it to swap off the Sticky Bomb launcher. While you could argue the shields are objectively worse than stickies, shields offer things stickies do not, and some people prefer the options the shields provide. And Annie is still more than capable of performing well without stickies. This is something that all subclass weapons should strive to be. Offer something new that, while maybe worse than the stock option, allows the class to do something they regularly wouldn't be able to do. Huh? They want me to do one more weapon? I think they get it by now, but I guess I'll do one more weapon. It can't be that bad.
Oh my goodness!
The Poacher's Pride is one of the dumbest unlocks I've ever seen in my life. It trades Marksman's long-range dominance for mid-range, possibilities. It technically falls under the umbrella of a subclass, the same way I technically slept 8 hours last night, but its niche is something that is already occupied by other classes, and also the regular Marksman anyway. Unlike something like Landuyt, there's zero tactical advantage to giving up the stock rifle for the poachers, other than being like 5% more efficient in mid-range combat. It gives no buffs to the player, no health increase, no speed boost, no. You get given a pellet gun and then are told to get hunting. Sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. We should probably get into the actual stats of the weapon. The Poacher's Pride is an unlockable sniper rifle for Marksman. It boasts an absolutely massive 100% clip size increase. And by massive, I mean you get one extra bullet in the magazine. That's not all though. You also get the ability to perform headshots independent of zoom at the cost of not being able to zoom at all. And a final downside of minus 11% damage, which means your headshots will do approximately 120 damage. Now I know what you might be thinking. But Mr. YouTuber, this sounds like it isn't so bad. 120 damage will one-shot campers, climber, marksmen, and kunai agents, and regular light classes will be left with only 5 health. You can easily switch to the Mac 10 and finish them off. You can just sit on the back lines and delete light classes with multiple shots. I'm gonna stop you right there. Yes, if these were the only stats on the weapon, then it wouldn't be that bad. Trading the ability to one-shot light classes for the ability to bring 2 down to 5 health, while a stupid trade-off, has some niche practical uses. But these weapon stats are not the only stats on the weapon. This weapon has more hidden mechanics than a contract with Xfinity, so now let's get into some of the hidden stats. At only 96 studs, the damage will fall off to a 54 damage mini crit. For reference, a point-blank body shot will deal 60 damage, so this sniper rifle is actually better at point-blank than it is at long ranges. But more importantly, this gives you no counter to normal marksmen who are a long ways away, as a 54 damage headshot will mean nothing if they just headshot you for 135 right after. So Marksman, the long-range class, becomes nothing better than a slight annoyance at long ranges. Okay, fine, but surely the Poachers has to be really good at close range, right? Like 2 rapid-fire headshots will kill everyone except a brute, right? Well, no, not exactly. Your math isn't wrong. 2 quick Poachers headshots would easily kill 8 out of the 9 classes, but there's one teensy tiny small little detail that stops you from doing that. What's that detail, you may ask? Well, it's a hidden headshot cooldown. That's right, there's a small delay in when you're able to hit headshots again, meaning at close range you're only able to output around 185 rapid damage, which gives troopers and Annies with more than 2 souls some room to react and chop your head off. So the Poachers is not effective at longer ranges, not effective at close range, so where is it effective? The answer is a little complicated, so I made this diagram to help show it. The Poachers is most effective at the very edge of mid-range. It's a little sweet spot where you can deal 120 damage headshots to other classes without them being able to do adequate damage to you. Think like this, you want to be as close to the mini crit range as possible while still dealing crits. Okay, so now we know the very tight niche the Poachers fills. It's used for attacking people at mid to longish ranges. But that minus 11% damage stat means we're not going to be able to one-shot anyone running stock weapons. So how are we actually going to get kills? The most obvious and direct way to secure a kill with the Poacher's Pride is to headshot someone, then follow up with a quick body shot. This will kill light classes, and depending on their range, even doctors, arsonists, and annihilators. However, if you're fighting a lot of light classes, I recommend switching to your Mac 10 in order to finish them off. That way, when you switch back to the poachers, you still have one bullet ready to go in case you need to headshot someone else. But what about when you're attacking a light class that's overhealed, or a trooper, or an annie with souls? The most reliable way to take care of something like that is the illustrious double poacher's headshot. I know I said earlier that there's a headshot cooldown, however that headshot cooldown will reset after about a second, meaning, if you get the timing right, you can hit multiple headshots on a single opponent. If you need a visual indicator, it's about when your view model starts to reload. However, I recommend practicing and eventually you'll get it down to muscle memory, and when you do, you might realize the truth about the poachers. You see, this video might come off as overly negative, and that's because I kind of have been. The poachers is definitely worse than stock in almost every way possible, yes. But the poachers can be used very effectively so long as there's no doctors or brutes on the enemy team. In fact, once you get that double headshot thing down, you're able to kill every class but a brute. And if you're good enough to hit your shots, you might start wondering why you ever used a scope in the first place. Oh my god, dude. Oh my
He's low? I love that. Arg. Wow.
What is wrong with me? Sharpen it just for you, pal. Oh, they're gonna get me! Let's go! And this is probably where the video would have ended, if it weren't for a chance encounter with a mad scientist, someone who needs no introduction. They're so ingenious, they once exposed a TC2 cheat developer by clicking on their public GitHub link. It's legendary programmer. Fake Access! Fake was performing an experiment involving increased overcharge rates on certain weapons, particularly the concealed carry. The stats of that weapon prevent overheal on the target, but as a result of this, the target will have an increased overcharge rate, resulting in significantly faster charges. He initially tested it with the Kritzkrieg and found it was giving a way faster overcharge rate. Then he realized he can use the Blood Doctor, a minigun which only gives charge when healing a non-overhealed player, in order to gain mini crits within seconds. This was found to be rather ineffective on flanker, as no overheal made them way too squishy to deal damage, even with the shortstop. But then we realized the Razorback also works with this, so he began to pocket me with it on Marksman. Oh, this is so stupid. Mini crits at closer ranges did do more damage than long range, but the effect was negligible. But then I had an idea. If the Blood Doctor was giving me mini crits, that would give full crits to the Lemma Blade. This would mean that I would be able to summon 147 damage melee swings at any time. That makes that diagram from earlier go from this to something more like this. After we made that discovery, that's when we discovered the apex of the Poacher's Marksman playstyle. With infinite mini-crits, you become a mid-range machine and a close-range devastator. There was no stopping us.
Jump him, jump him, jump him, jump him!
We were unkillable.
Oh! Stupid. No! Yeah, take your life, take your life! We'll take your life too. Wait, it's not Chris! Go get a fucking health kit! Oh my god!
We were gods among men!
Yeah, we could do it here.
What?
Okay, yeah, the Lemma Blade is kind of a problem. Because you're running Razorback, you're not able to get overhealed, which means because of the Lemma Blade's 30% damage vulnerability, you'll be locked at 96 health. Which means you get one shot by practically everything. If you manage to get lucky though, it can lead to some pretty nutty kill streaks. Alright, before we wrap up this video, I want to show you one last clip. Yeah, what you think is about to happen is about to happen. It's probably one of the most satisfying shots you can hit on Marksman, except for maybe doing it with the Huntsman. I don't know why I like the Poacher's Pride so much, but if I had to guess, it's the simplicity of it. I click on the guy, they take 90% damage, then I kill them after, and to me, that's even more satisfying than hitting a regular headshot. I don't know what about it is to me, but it just is. I think it goes to show how much stupid fun TC2 can bring to you. You don't always have to be pub stomping, grinding your strangers, or playing 100% optimally. TC2 is a game about having fun. While you can't see the fun percent on a stat menu anywhere in game, you can sure as hell feel it.
Demo night.
Unless there's a Brooder Doctor overhealing people on the other team, then I'd rather get shoved into a fucking blender.